So I have like 17 virtual assistants helping me in my internet business. And I also have a landscaping business that was my full-time business and part-time internet hustle. And now I'm full-time internet business, part-time landscaping, and it took years to get to this point. And I want to talk about how I'm going through and doing my due diligence right now, and I'm not working landscaping today because I'm burned out and I'm scaling the internet business. And there's two things you can do. You can keep working for money, like Robert Kiyosaki says, or you can invest in assets that push off residual and passive cash flow that actually increase and build your financial foundation. And now, in the beginning, you need money constantly, and you got to keep cash flow coming in, so you got to keep working for money. But every spare moment you get, you got to invest that time and money into building the machine or the passive cash flowing assets that flow you money while you sleep. So it's this constant balance, right? You've probably been working hard for, many years. Pardon me, I'm exhausted, burning the candle at both ends, working on becoming a multi-millionaire. I'm sitting on my couch right now. I was just communicating with my virtual assistants, doing my due diligence and asking them for like reports, views and data and clicks, and just discussing like the vision. And I was thinking about how I have this one, well, actually, most of the all of them, I've never met any of the virtual assistants in person ever. They're all over the world. And most of them, I've never even seen their face on a picture except for the little profile picture. And I've never seen most of them on a Zoom call. I don't even know them, but I know them and they know me, and we know each other's integrity. Like my editor in Serbia, bro, I could say he's my friggin' bro. We are so cool with each other, and we know each other like intellectually, business wise, and we know each other's hearts, and we got each other's back. I know, dude, he's the shit, bro, and I consider him a friend. And I've never even seen his face or even been on a Zoom call with him. It's just been purely through texting and doing business together virtually. That's how powerful where we're at right now with this whole internet marketing thing. And it's been this way for a long time. So if you have this thought that you need a physical person to come help you, if it's a videographer, they got to be in person. But what I've learned is if you get over these mental hurdles in your head, you can just realize where things actually are. If you read a book called Virtual Freedom by Chris Ducker, that's one book. The graphs and charts in that book will help you. I've recently, I don't know if you would call it promoted, but it might be called that. But one of my virtual assistants, one of my favorite virtual assistants, she's really, really good at like data and preparing spreadsheets and files and taking text. And she's just like can do all these things. And she's tremendously awesome. She's in the United States. I've been looking for what's called a general. I can't stop yawning. A general my dog. I have 3 dogs and cats, and they keep me up all night, barking and meowing and barking at everything. I haven't slept in 10 years. I'm lucky to get 3 nights a week of decent sleep. All right, and I'm doing this. Look, I don't get no sleep, and I do this too. So I've been looking for what we call a general virtual assistant, or a even somewhat project manager is the next step. Because when you grow a team of more than like 6-7 people, because like I said, I have 17 virtual assistants, and in the past, if you'd have told me that, I'd be like, what? That's insane. That's really going to happen? It's not even like a big deal. It's just relative. But I have this thing called the marketing progression pyramid that I've created, and it's this vision I had a few years ago, and I drew it all down, and I created this framework called the MPP model, marketing progression pyramid. And the pyramid is like a hierarchy of your understanding and consciousness around and implementing marketing, and then moving up to, oh my God, I just had another epiphany. Myron Golden talks about these different stages of wealth, and he goes up a kind of like a pyramid. And I did not get this from him, but this is kind of a similar thing. He talks about implementation, where you're doing it all yourself, and the next is unification, where you're managing people, and then the next level is that of communication, where you just communicate, and then the people below you, and then the highest level is imagination, like that's the billionaires and stuff. Really cool. Well, in my MPP model, the highest level is that where you have a project manager, or you have somebody who's really smart who's now delegating, so you could be the visionary, and you're not stuck dealing with all of the implementation of everything, because it slows you down, and you get trapped on these different plateaus. I know what I'm talking about. You get trapped on these different plateaus and purgatories in your business, where you can actually get very exhausted and become depressed because you're not living out the dream you intended to live as a visionary. But if you understand that that's a normal part of the process, and now what you need is, you do need to read the book Who, Not How by Dan Sullivan, you'll learn that you need the who's. Oh. Like, for instance, my wife is a brilliant copywriter and social media marketer. She's very good at marketing. I bounce stuff off her, dude. She's a wizard, bro. She's so smart. And she's good at managing people. But one thing that she really struggles with is her mindset around, I guess you could say, scaling and growing a business, and empowering and trusting other people to do shit, and knowing and being okay with knowing and being okay with the fact that it might not be exactly how you would have done it, because she's a perfectionist. And by being with my wife, because I'm married to her, and the haptic feedback of being around somebody who has similar but totally reciprocal qualities that I do, because I'm like I like to be hands-off visionary. If somebody does something and it's like 90% good, I used to be a perfectionist, and it destroyed my life, my sanity, I mean. And your sanity is your life. And then I learned that when you just trust and empower other people to do things, but you find people, if you read the book Who Not How, you find people who are better than you than doing stuff. Because the first step is you hire nimwits, whatever, I hope that's not a bad word, of people just because you're trying to save money to do things for you, but they don't do a great job, and they don't have confidence, and you don't instill confidence in them because you don't know your role yet. You're not being a good leader and a visionary. You're going to get poor results, and then you're going to blame them, or you're going to blame the system. But then when you move up to the next level of consciousness of this entire progression pyramid model that I'm talking about, where you have, it's called unconscious competency, where you're just competent and it becomes second nature. Then you start to hire people and you pay them more that are experts. But you're afraid to invest time and money into things. That's why people work jobs, because you know for a fact you're going to get that money. It's security. But the freedom of entrepreneurship is you're investing time and money in things you don't have any proof you're going to get money back. You just have to put your heart and throw your heart over the bar. So there's a lot of rejection that you face that goes against the central nervous system of your survival mode. Being an entrepreneur, we're not wired to be entrepreneurs. So when you take a risk, the risk level even higher, and you hire people who are experts at what they do, and you pay them more, and you're paying someone like $390 to write a freaking blog article, or $550 to update a web page, or right now I'm paying a branding expert. This is not just some random guy off Pinterest. This is a high-level branding expert, $7,000, and he gave me a discount, $7,000 to redo all my branding on my internet. And it's a lot of work. I pay $2,500, $5,000, $15,000, dude, thousands and thousands. I make sure that my internet business makes enough money to keep me on a payroll. It pays all the taxes. I save money. I make money. We live a comfortable lifestyle. And then I have profit margins. I have a bookkeeper. That's $412 a month just for the bookkeeper for the one business, plus $2,750 for QuickBooks, $2,750 from my other QuickBooks, and then another 200 to 300 a month, depending for my other business. So I've got like 20,000. Well, actually, it's 24. I'm making, depends. It's I'm making 24,000, 34,000, anywhere from 34 to 65,000 a month, depending on the months, right? But I invest. I'm investing a healthy amount back into the business month after month on a month, running on a budget. That's what I need to do right now. I'm going to create a budget today so I can see specifically. But anyways, back to what I was saying. When you hire people that are smarter than you to do things and you invest, then you have like gauges and limits and like a buffer system. You have some money coming in, and now you invest in these imagination projects. Now, I want to be clear. There's two different types of things that you invest in. One is proven, the other is experimental. You invest in things that are proven, and if you got something that's proven in it, for sure it serves people, it does a good job, it makes you money, you're going to want to put the gas on that fire and invest in people who can take over. First of all, take over the things that you suck at doing, you hate doing the most, the things that need to be done, the lowest price things. You want to replace the lowest price activity first. They call it the $10 an hour work. Well, $20 is the new 10, but we'll call it the 10 because of inflation. So you want to replace the $10 an hour task first. You want to replace maybe like video editing, helping somebody write. You see, these things change as you change and grow. Like I say, you have somebody help you write copy and build sales pages, but maybe at the highest level, if you're doing $500,000, you want to maybe write the copy yourself because you only understand the deep levels of psychological triggers and emotional stuff of what your audience is going through the most, because your business is probably you scratching your own itch. So you understand, unless you got a copywriter who understands that stuff, who does the deep dive research and has a deep relationship with you that really can write excellent copy, has to either be somebody that's birthed out of your own industry or somebody that works with you very closely. They're probably going to charge you a lot. But anyways, I digress. It's a lot of work. So my new virtual assistant she's now, we use Monday.com as the CRM dashboard to run the business, and I'm literally throwing all the tasks at her that have been making me feel like I'm like wearing a Velcro suit running down a hallway made out of carpet. And I'm like being snagged so much, and I'm literally just delegating all this stuff to her. Update this on the website, go to the events page and do this, go to the resources page of this, build this, write this blog, do this. And she just like got it. And the next thing is, once we get that going, which it's already going, then I'm going to give her access to the team of some of the 17 virtual assistants, or the other 16, I mean, and then she's going to go and now start managing and delegating and communicating with them on my behalf. It's Death by 1,000 Cuts. Sam Ovens on YouTube, the consultant, he put out over the past 5 years these beautiful, amazing videos of like monk-like discipline, and he runs he did a $30 million a year internet business, and now he does this thing's called School, SKOOL. But Death by 1,000 Cuts is, what do you mean you can't do that? It's a little tiny thing. You open your laptop and you log in and you click the thing. Death by 1,000 Cuts is if you're spending all day doing all these little tasks, every single one is hogging up and decreasing the amount of bandwidth of willpower that you have for each day. So, like right now, my business line is ringing and I'm not going to pick it up. And this is money, and I'm going to ignore it. So, you got to focus on the high-level imagination stuff as much as you possibly can and afford to can, because I said there's proven and experimental. So you want to do more of the proven stuff and expand and put your imagination into the proven stuff to make it the best it can be as you build a bridge over and start doing the experimental stuff. Now, you don't just go off and do wacky experimental stuff, say, oh, now we're going to go do this crazy thing over here because we think it can make us get rich. I don't think that's a good idea unless you already are rich. And I'm not, who am I to give advice here? But your experimental stuff should be stuff that's like connected and has roots in the proven stuff that can allow you, that you're like, okay, if we do this, this is the next thing that can really, really be fun and exciting and new and like visionary stuff. But it's also stuff that you can delegate down. So it's like, and you got to put this, you got to decide for you on the gradient, like a fulcrum, what you're going to do. So I could talk for hours. If you like these type of videos, I could talk literally for hours. There's so much stuff I've learned, and this is my passion and my obsession, is on my path to building a multi-million-dollar internet marketing business. I have suffered grievously for this. I have literally held back my personal life for years. I literally just turned 40 about a month ago because of I refuse to give in and do something I don't want to do for a living that I hate just to make money to pay the bills and keep my family happy. And I do keep my wife happy and my pets, but because my drive and desire to help people and do what I call God's will in my life is I'm staying on this path, and it's proven. This last thing I want to say is so powerful. I've literally have a stack. Alex Hormozy, he's just like worth $100 million. He says, if you want to get confidence, like you don't just generate this, confidence. He goes, go out into the world and build an undeniable stack of evidence, of proof, with actual evidence that you can look at, of results you've created that make you say, that's why I'm confident. That's why I am who I say I am, because I have all this evidence. So when I look at my life and I look at all the times when I could have just partnered up with somebody in my landscape business or take on these bigger things to make more short-term money, and I said no. I said no, screw that. I'm focusing on my dreams. And I've watched the years go by, and it's worked out well for me. I've written 3 Amazon books that have become bestsellers in their category. I've traveled around the country and spoke on stages and done keynotes and gotten paid thousands of dollars to speak. My videos have helped around 10,000 businesses get started, have, from what I'm aware of, prevented suicides. My dream has proved to me that when I stick with it, I have gotten brand deals and sponsorships with big box companies like Lowe's, Home Improvement, and other companies. I have had a $70-something thousand month where I've seen it happen. I have had my own basement flood and have made enough money on the internet, aside from insurance, didn't cover enough to flush out and pay all this money to remodel my own basement. I have had enough money to be able to take my dogs to the vet. And my wife rescued this beautiful little dog with a heart murmur, and we spent thousands of dollars in vet bills. And so I've watched this internet business be able to afford my wife and I, when we're too tired, to just go get a carryout for $65 and sit there and eat delicious gyros and club sandwiches, and who cares what the soup costs? If we want soup, get the soup. These are little things in your family, little financial struggles and pressures. I don't want to be like that, where I'm stressed now. Oh, how much is this on a menu? I grew up poor as shit. And so I know I talk about myself a lot, but I'm saying, like, the profit margins you can make on the internet are way higher because you can do 1,000 transactions a minute, or 1 transaction a minute. You could do 10 transactions while you sleep. You don't have to like get in a truck and travel across and go pick up the thing and do the thing and manage it. Like, it's all virtual. So when you see this for what it really is, it's the only option moving forward. I saw this 20 years ago. I saw this, and it's taking me this long. This is it. This is it. This is the ship. This is the boat. If you're not already making 6 figures online, you missed the boat. But there's one more boat, and it's getting ready to leave the dock. You better get your ass in gear. If you want to learn more about this, go to keithkalfas.com/framework. I'll put a link in the description below, and I'll be doing a webinar soon where I'll just share about how to do all this stuff. And if you like how I'm ADD, leave a comment below. keithkalfas.com/framework.